decision upholding President Kenyatta's re-election has been received with jubilation within the ruling Jubilee Party as gloom enveloped opposition leader Raila Odinga's strongholds. Political affairs reporter Murimi Mwangi highlights key legal and political reactions that followed the Supreme verdict.
As the Chief Justice David Maraga chaired 6-judge bench vacated the courtroom after upholding President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election. Behind them were these celebratory top Jubilee Party figureheads, as a carnival of song and dance erupted outside the Supreme Court. Hundreds of Jubilee supporters celebrating Kenyatta's beckoning second and final term in office, following the verdict validating the contentious October 26th repeat presidential poll.
Of course, we expected or had hoped for a different outcome, but that does not change that we still remain one country and should remain that way, in deference to our Constitution and our laws.
Every provision of the Constitution was adhered to. And for us, that's the end of the story. It's now the time to, for the President to serve his five-year term, for him to be sworn. As I said, maneno imeisha.
But the man constitutionally mandated as the government's chief legal advisor and whose application at the Supreme Court back in 2013 regarding the fate of a repeat election where any candidate withdraws was at the center of the court battle. Attorney General Professor Githu Muigai welcomed the verdict but cautioned on the need to relook the presidential petition's legal framework.
There is no perfect election. There will always be errors in an election, but you cannot invalidate an election unless those errors and discrepancies are of such a nature as to affect the actual outcome.
The political class, as we have said before, cannot be the election court. Only a court of law can make a determination as to the merits and demerits of a particular case. And I think the Supreme Court, for the second time again, has demonstrated that it can uphold its independence and do the right thing.
But the Raila Odinga-led National Super Alliance has disowned the Supreme Court verdict. NASA CEO Norman Magaya insisting the coalition was neither a party to the repeat election nor the Supreme Court petition and will be issuing a statement on the way forward within the week. Pursuant to Rule 23, subsection 1 of the Supreme Court Presidential Petition Rules, the judges have until 11th December to release the full-length version of the judgment, this being 21 days after the Monday verdict. Analysts argue the judges have some explaining to do regarding perception that the verdicts could have been influenced by the prevailing political stalemate.
After every election, heavily and bitterly contested, there are fallouts among the ranks and the file of the citizens. And it is the role of each and every government and every president to make sure that he carries everybody, those who voted for him and those who didn't vote for him.
We are pleased that we can move our constitutional order to the next step, which is the inauguration of the president, the creation of a new cabinet, and then we can move on.
While the Supreme Court hurdle is evidently out of the picture, the NASA and Jubilee Kitchen cabinets no doubt face an enormous task, resolving the prevailing stalemate that is slowly threatening to degenerate into a political crisis. Muremi Mwangi, KTN News, in Nairobi.